And nobody had talked about this at all. And I happened to start like kind of digging and doing some research, and I realized a Shell petrochemical plant had gone up right across the border in Pennsylvania, roughly 16 miles away from East Palestine, Ohio. A Shell petrochemical plant went up in November of 2022 in Beaver County, Pennsylvania. And that's where those chemicals were going, the vinyl chloride and the ethane and all the other ones. There's a lot of them in there. They were going to Shell petrochemical, which, side note, happens to be right on the Ohio River. They bought waterfront land to build the Shell petrochemical. And I've talked numerous times in previous videos, just as a recap, how the East Palestine, Ohio had just randomly been given these whole My ID bracelets about a week before the derailment. And these bracelets are designed to basically keep up with, or track, if you will, a person's health, whatever issues they may be having health-wise and things like that. And for some reason, East Palestine, Ohio was deemed the place to get these, which out of everywhere in the United States, explain to me why that would be the case, unless they knew that with the Shell petrochemical going in right across the border, that there was going to be serious adverse health effects because of all of the carcinogens they're releasing into the air and into the water with what they're doing. Now, I also talked, y'all, this is a lot. Okay, stay with me. So I also talked about how there are pipelines going in throughout the United States to move like carbon and other things, ethane around. And I was kind of curious on if that was maybe a push for East Palestine to kind of be demolished, if you will, a uninhabitable place, or a place that the government could take, or a place that a big corporation could come in and buy out because the residents will no longer feel safe there after a train happens to derail and after all these chemicals happen to be let loose in their soil and in their water and, you know, in the air. Maybe a company could come in and buy it out. And I thought, I've been thinking the entire time, Shell petrochemical would benefit from East Palestine, Ohio not being there, for it being able to be used for something else, but I could not figure out what. So I started looking, and I have another option that I'd already looked up that's in my notes for today that has to do with electric vehicles and the things needed for that, but we'll get back to that. So I start looking, and y'all, I did not know this. I found this, and we're going to put some dots together here. OMG. So did you know that the Falcon pipeline system, side note, let me tell you why I'm looking at Falcon pipeline system, because I saw a little blurb that said they are worried that the Keystone pipeline in Arkansas, Kansas, damn it, I don't remember which one of those states, that there is a huge risk of an oil leak in the Keystone pipeline. Arkansas or Kansas? I think it's Arkansas. And so I saw that, it stuck in my brain, and I Googled pipeline just to see what all would come up. And I start scrolling, and I see this thing that says the Falcon pipeline system, and then I see the Shell logo beneath it. And I was like, huh. So I click on it. Y'all, the Falcon pipeline system connects three major ethane source points: Houston, Pennsylvania, SCIO, Ohio, and Cadiz, Ohio, in the rich gas portions of the Marcellus and Utica shale reservoirs. Having become mechanically complete in 2020, the Falcon pipeline went into commission in October of 2021. Okay, this is where it gets interesting in my mind. So you have this system that starts off in Houston, Pennsylvania, which I pulled up a map to figure out where everything is. And let me show you, because I tried to do it on MapQuest, but it was too many locations. So, okay, how to show you this? Where is it at? Oh, there's SCIO, there's Cadiz. I want to show you this so you understand. So basically, okay, oh, here it is. So let me get closer here. This is very hard to see, just so you know. So over here, there's a little baby red dot right here underneath Cannonsburg. This is where Houston, Pennsylvania is. Okay, that's Houston, Pennsylvania, right here under Cannonsburg. Well, here is Cadiz, Ohio. Straight across the border, there's Cadiz, Ohio. That's where the pipeline goes from Houston to Cadiz, all right? And then it goes from Cadiz up to SCIO, or whatever else. And let me just point out to you here, if this were to, nope, hold on, we got to zoom out here together, if I can get this to work. Where did we go? Y'all, this is the downside to try to do this while talking to you. No, okay, well, here's East Palestine. I need you to understand this. This is East Palestine right here. Y'all see that? The SCIO place is right down here somewhere. The next logical step would be East Palestine right into Beaver County, where the Shell petrochemical station went up on the Ohio River. So I know it's very hard to see there and very hard to understand, and I didn't have a better way to show you. Did I do a screenshot? Hold on. But here's my thought. This pipeline, I did do a screenshot, yes. So this pipeline happened to get started in 2020, happened to get completed in 2021, and just happens to be exactly what Shell Petrochemical needs, like the chemical they use. Y'all, there's so much here that I am weirdly excited. But okay, so look, the American, why is ethane not used as a fuel? No, that's not the important part. Where is it? Nope, not that one either. Hold on. I had a thing pulled up so I could tell you about Shell. Shell Polymers, Monica, Shell completed construction, blah, blah, blah. What is made at the cracker plant in Beaver County? So Beaver County, Pennsylvania is where the Shell petrochemical plant went up. The cracker plant will break down ethane molecules to produce pellets that can be used to make plastics for products ranging from automotive parts to food packages. It's a huge economic investment, one of the biggest Pennsylvania has seen in recent history. So my thought is, you have this pipeline, this Shell pipeline. Okay, this Falcon thing is from Shell. It's their pipeline that goes from Houston, Pennsylvania to that Cordes, Ohio to SCIO. But what's interesting to me, and I have to show it to you this way, what was interesting to me is the fact that in the article here, they did not put the SCIO, Ohio and Cadiz, Ohio in the right order, because if they had put it in the right order, and people had looked it up, they would have seen it went from point A to B to C. The way they listed it goes A, C, B, which doesn't make sense, especially since A, B, C, D would be East Palestine, and then right there to the Shell petrochemical station. That was my thought. Okay, that was my thought. So then you have the ability to go through East Palestine and knock out that whole railroad, that section, because technically they could do without that section, or they could rebuild it somewhere, because Norfolk Southern is trying to buy the railway in Cincinnati, Ohio currently. They already have a delivery way to Conway, Pennsylvania. I'm sure they could reroute or build a new one to go through somewhere not East Palestine. Or while East Palestine is just completely pulled apart, Shell Petrochemical goes, hey, listen, you guys have the rails pulled up anyway. You have this whole section just all jacked up from this massive train derailment and chemical spill and controlled fire that you guys set, Norfolk Southern and Mike DeWine, governor of Ohio. While this is all pulled up, while this whole track is pulled up and you're going through there to pull out all this dirty soil, how about we just, slide a pipeline through there, underground through there, and over into where we need it over here in Beaver County, Pennsylvania for our Shell petrochemical plant, so we could get the ethane underground, because then it's safer. You don't have to transport it in these tank cars on these Norfolk Southern trains where you could have a derailment, where you could have a leak, where you could have a subsequent fire, and you could have, health issues for residents in hundreds of miles radius or whatever else. Y'all, I swear I'm keeping an eye on this. There's going to be a push. I guarantee there's going to be a push for underground digging from Shell Petrochemical to go through East Palestine, Ohio, because again, it's 16 miles away from their brand new petrochemical plant that uses ethane or ethane or whatever. Anyways, okay. Look, I thank you for letting me.
These trailers just showed up in our town. Three of them showed up in our town at our fairgrounds. They're just sitting there. I made a post on Facebook. I did not say the three-letter agency's name, but I just said, these trailers showed up in town. If I were you, I would not trust them. And within 30 minutes, they had already been taken down. Like, oh my gosh. So we live out in the middle of nowhere. Like, it's a 15-minute drive into town. We have maybe one neighbor, but they're like 5 minutes away. Our driveway is a mile long. We literally live in the middle of nowhere. And just yesterday, someone came to our house and was talking to my boyfriend and said that they would offer us $150 per adult and $60 per child to go to these trailers and let them run tests on us for a few hours, because they knew that we were not vaccinated, and they asked what our stance on guns were. Like, they knew that we lived out in the middle of nowhere and that we were not vaccinated. Scary. That's scary. Like, people get lost trying to find my house. They have their GPS up and they still get lost finding my house. So